Straight ahead on 12 News Weekend, Rethinking College. How one mom is helping her children get degrees without a big load of debt. Then, extra reason to de-stress.
We're seeing high rates of depression and anxiety in people as they age.
But first,
and we're going to close on that.
Opponents of a railroad connection plan in Crystal learn of a big chip in their favor. Now the question is, what next?
If it's not moving by the railroad, it's going to move by a truck on your highway and your roads that are taxpayer funded.
12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us on 12 News Weekend. I'm Delane Cleveland.
And I'm Shannon Slatton. Hennepin County is taking a unique step to head off a railroad connection controversy.
This week, the county reached a deal to buy land in Crystal that may block the project. Mike Johnson has more.
Well, this is obviously the biggest issue to hit these parts for a long time.
A standing room only crowd gathered to hear the latest from railroad and elected officials on a proposed rail connection in Crystal that threatens to block intersections and bring more train traffic to the area.
Today, I can report to you that we have a signed purchase agreement from the owners and the county.
County Commissioner Mike Opat announced a $1.8 million deal to buy land along West Broadway. The county's purchase would keep BNSF from getting the land it needs to make the connection.
We're merely trying to get between the railroads and their plan.
Opat says the county will close on the deal in 45 days. It would allow a towing business and an auto body shop currently renting the property to stay. And Opat says the county is prepared for a possible legal fight with the railroad.
We bought that land for the public purpose of preserving public safety. We think that should overrule the railroad's condemnation authority to move their goods and improve their system. We think there are other options. We think they should explore them.
BNSF says they have agreed to look at other options to ease freight congestion.
We're looking at how we better balance train flow using an infrastructure that's in place. And we've heard from a lot of communities, particularly Coon Rapids, Anoka, Ramsey, Elk River, many of those communities who suffer from congestion.
But that did little to calm resident fears about a potential rail connection that could impact emergency response and cause delays in Crystal, Robbinsdale, and surrounding cities.
Now you're going to cut Robbinsdale in half. Businesses will die and be left barren because they won't have people coming to our area.
It's really, really frustrating to deal with how you guys are all saying it's going to benefit you, but no one's going to be benefited in this room and in the community.
So far, BNSF has not filed an application for the connection with federal regulators, and Commissioner Opat hopes it stays that way.
So the simplest, best answer here is that BNSF find another option and not file that application. Then this is done.
Mike Johnson reporting. Well, along with the county's land purchase, other efforts are continuing to potentially block the connection, including several bills moving through the state legislature.
Interstate 94 north of Maple Grove would get a major upgrade according to legislation introduced at the state capitol. Representative Joyce Pepin of Rogers is the chief author of a bill to construct an interchange at I-94 just east of County Highway 101 in Dayton. Pepin says this portion of I-94 is among the longest stretches of freeway without an exit in the entire metro area. She believes an interchange would help reduce traffic congestion. Her plan would be funded by the sale of bonds. Construction has begun in Robbinsdale on a trail that will eventually connect with the Minneapolis trail system. The Crystal Lake Regional Trail will be 2.4 miles long. A signature piece of the trail will be a large boardwalk constructed along Crystal Lake. The trail should be completed by the fall.
In our week in review, a former hotel and water park is now a large used car lot. CarMax celebrated the opening of its first Minnesota store in Brooklyn Park this week. This location will hold more than 250 vehicles of nearly every make and model. It employs nearly 100 workers and will serve as the used car giant's Minnesota headquarters. Another company is also moving its headquarters to Brooklyn Park. Design Ready Controls plans to build a nearly 100,000 square foot facility at a development site just east of Highway 169 and south of Highway 610. The company is relocating from northeast Minneapolis. With the new facility, the company plans to add 25 jobs. Design Ready Controls is the largest global supplier of electrical controls for the heating and cooling industry. And a medical device company moving to Plymouth also plans to add jobs. Smith's Medical is relocating its headquarters from Arden Hills to this site on Nathan Lane. With the move, it's making more than $7 million in improvements at its new home. It also expects to create more than 150 new high-paying jobs. To make the move happen, Smith's Medical will receive nearly $900,000 from a state job creation fund. Well, if you have children, chances are you have thought about future college expenses.
One local mom is encouraging people to rethink college and how much it's supposed to cost.
College has just gotten so expensive that if you go in without a roadmap, typically you come out with student loan debt that is burdensome.
Sherry Frame started thinking about how her 3 kids could get through college when they were young.
I've got 3 kids that are within a 4-year span, and the college bills are going to be enormous.
So Sherry found ways for her children to earn college credit during high school.
My oldest is 22. He graduated with his 4-year degree the same time he graduated high school.
Her daughter did the same, and the youngest,
my just turned 19-year-old son, graduated high school in May, has 1 year left of college.
3 students with college degrees and no debt. Sherry says it's possible.
In Minnesota, we have a fabulous program. Post-secondary education enrollment, 2 years of college for free for any student who qualifies. And you qualify by doing well in school.
But PSEO is only one option. Another is credit by exam.
That is the best kept secret in higher education nationwide.
By taking the nationally recognized DSST or CLEP test for $80 per exam, you can earn transferable credits worth hundreds or thousands of dollars.
When you're done studying a subject, U.S. history, algebra, world history, is there a test and a credit by exam opportunity that goes with the subject you just studied?
To help other parents navigate this method, Sherry published a workbook and operates a website called Credits Before College. There she's compiled how she helped give her kids a debt-free education.
I want to give them that gift, the same gift my parents gave me, a college education, or at least the idea that you can do something beyond being a student without the burden of debt.
And it's worthwhile to note you need to check with your college of choice to make sure your credits will transfer. There's much more that Sherry Frame talks about with avoiding the high price of college. She has a workshop coming up, though, where you can learn more. It's in Wayzata on March 26th. The cost of the workshop is $25 per family, and you can find more information about it on the website creditsbeforecollege.com. Delaney, I learned quite a bit with that story.
Yeah, it looks like you did. Good information there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks. Coming up on 12 News Weekend, some much-needed stress relief. We look at ways to help improve your mood.
And later in sports, state tournament highlights from the Champlin Park and Maranatha boys basketball teams.
Don't put away your jacket yet, though. Wishful thinking there. After this glorious weekend, Monday turns a bit colder. Spring officially starts on Friday, but it's been so nice lately. Golfers have had a head start on the season. Rush Creek Golf Course in Maple Grove has its driving range open already.
This is one of the earliest springs we've had as far as opening up the driving range. 3 seasons ago, we were able to open the course on St. Patrick's Day, but after the last 2 springs we've had, this is a welcome surprise.
The main course, though, is not expected to be open for a few more weeks, so hold off. But maybe the nicer weather will help lighten our mood. Experts say we have the highest rates of depression and anxiety than at any other time in history.
Working longer hours and caring for children and aging parents help explain some of that stress. This weekend, we look at ways to cope. Amidst the hustle and bustle of everyday life,
We're more connected than we've ever been.
the day-to-day routine
Fear is a very powerful emotion.
can sometimes become overwhelming. Just ask Linda Shea of Minneapolis.
Well, about 8 years ago, I had a pretty major panic attack, which kind of woke me up and said that I really have some stress going on in my life and I need to figure out how to deal with the stress.
That's where Allina Health's Penny George Institute for Health and Healing comes into play.
We're seeing high rates of depression and anxiety in people as they age.
Dr. Courtney Beckler is a cardiologist with the health center.
Theoretically, we have more technology, more medications, more ways to approach this than we've ever had. But unfortunately, we're not really seeing a lot of effective outcomes from our traditional Western approach.
That's why she recommends people consider taking a holistic approach, which can include everything from acupuncture to yoga.
How are you doing today?
To coaching.
This is really, from my perspective, the way of the future.
It's a method that's worked well for Linda since her panic attack.
I started using acupuncture. So I took a class called Mindful-Based Stress Reduction, a meditation.
And the overall result of those services?
I'm now currently off all of my antidepressants. I'm not on any prescription medication.
That's especially impressive considering she's also a recent breast cancer survivor.
I am now 3 years out from the diagnosis, 2 years out from treatment, and I am feeling good.
She attributes much of that to the services offered at Penny George. And in a world filled with stressors, there's no room for pessimism.
I'm looking optimistically at the future.
Experts say that between 75 to 90% of all visits to doctors include stress as an underlying contributor. Untreated stress can lead to things such as kidney disease, heart disease, and stroke. Well, coming up, who says it has to taste icky to be healthy?
We'll get some fresh food perspective. But first, the Park Center girls basketball team is headed back to the state tournament. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox.
I'm Jay Wilcox with sports. Breaking through to finally beat De La Salle last season in the Section 3 3A final was big for Park Center's girls basketball team. They hope to make it 2 in a row as they met De La Salle in the section title game for a 5th year in a row. And Simonette has a hot hand early. This one makes it 8-1 Park Center. Later at Simonette, just inside the three-point line, hitting again. She scores 10 in the first half. The Islanders score the final 5 points in the first half, though in the closing 20 seconds, including a putback from Taylor Toney, to cut Park Center's lead to 9. But the Pirates are never really threatened in the second half. McKenna DuBois scores the layup here and is fouled to stretch their lead to 17. After De La Salle pulls to within 9, Park Center scores 10 points in a minute. Michaela Hayes hits here, plus a foul. And after an offensive rebound, the pass goes to Hannah Schaub, who hits the open three-pointer, and Park Center's on their way. Danielle Schaub passes to Simonette on the break for 2 more, plus a foul. Park Center wins at 57-39 to head back to state. They open the state tournament Wednesday at 10 a.m. against Richfield at Mariucci Arena. Following a December loss to Eastview, the Hopkins girls basketball team not only has won every game, they've won each of those 23 games by 10 points or more. The Royals took on Minnetonka for the Section 6 4A championship. Nia Holly with a great pass to T.T. Starks to the basket and the foul. Evelyn Knox nails a three-pointer, makes it 15-6 Hopkins. Ashley Bates has a good game for the Royals. She drives here for the hoop and the foul. Hopkins is up 39-21 at the half. To the second half, and Bates hits from long range. She has a 22-point game. Nia Holly fakes the drive and steps back and hits a jumper to make it 58-33 Royals. Bates drives and hits a tough shot as Hopkins pulls away to win the section title 81-55. They meet Rochester Mayo in the state quarterfinals Tuesday morning. Champlin Park's boys basketball team has made no secret of their goal to win the state tournament, and their quarterfinal round game brought the Rebels 1 game closer. Top seed Champlin Park facing St. Francis in the quarterfinals. McKinley Wright steps back and hits a long two-pointer here. The sophomore scores 7 of the first 10 for the Rebels. Off a missed St. Francis jumper, J.T. Gibson gets the rebound and outlets to Marty Hill, and he drives and scores 2 of his 12 first half points for Champlin Park. Wright fakes a 3, and then drives from the corner to score, plus a foul. He scores 17 to lead the Rebels. Metro Player of the Year, J.T. Gibson rises up for the two-pointer here. The Rebels extend their lead to 12. In transition, Jeremy Johnson will take it strong all the way himself. He also scores 17. This one turns into a rout. Aaron Klepner caps the first half, beating the buzzer with a three-pointer that puts the Rebels ahead 52-23 at halftime. He has 12 off the bench. Early in the second half, Gibson to Johnson inside for an easy 2. Champlin Park wins 90-47. They edge Shakopee in the semifinals, and we'll have highlights of the championship against Apple Valley Monday on our Sports Jam show and on 12 News. In the Class A tournament, second seed Maranatha Christian Academy had a rematch of last year's quarterfinals. They faced Red Lake. First half, Maranatha's Joe Jacobson finds Jake Mayan inside for the basket and a foul. Mayan scores 21, but the Mustangs trail it by 8. Red Lake plays a good game after a deflection off a Maranatha defender. It's out to Russell Kingbird for a 3. It's part of an 18-point game for him. The Warriors are up by a dozen at halftime. Maranatha responds in the second half. DeMario Armstrong hits a deep 3, getting Maranatha back within a point. And Armstrong will get a steal and take it all the way for a dunk, tying things up at 52. He has 13 with 11 of those in the second half. Tied at 55, Mayan misses a go-ahead free throw try, but Jeremiah Hansen comes up with the ball and lays it in for the lead with 23 seconds left. There's one last chance for Red Lake to tie it up, but Kingbird loses control and the Mustangs hang on to win 59-55. They beat Battle Lake in the semis and playing Rushford-Peterson for the championship. So a couple teams that have played well all season, and it's continuing in the tournament.
We've got a talented group this year.
No doubt.
Really
Great teams around the area.
All right, good to watch. Thanks, Jay.
You bet.
Still ahead on 12 News Weekend, food for thought.
A couple of ways to encourage kids to eat healthy when we come back. Don't want your kids to skip breakfast? Well, smoothies might be the answer. Cooper High School is trying out a smoothie bar, and so far they are a hit. The kitchen crew had 175 fruit and yogurt smoothies sell out in less than 10 minutes recently. Cooper received a $2,500 grant to pay for the industrial-sized blender and equipment needed to make them.
It is nutritious because they're made with yogurt and fruit. Occasionally there'll be some juice in there, so it's kind of a power-packed grab and go. Like I said, that's kind of it. It needs to be quick for them.
More than 500 students at Cooper currently use the school's breakfast program. Well, finally, another way students are discovering healthy eating.
Actually looking at this and making it and knowing the ingredients and stuff, it's actually pretty good to try, you know? Try something new. And the green beans, oh my gosh, spot on.
Green beans, she was talking about sesame green beans and broccoli apple salad are just a few of the items students at the Osseo Area Learning Center helped prepare for school lunch this week. The students worked with guest chef Marshall O'Brien in Minneapolis. It's a hands-on lesson to teach kids that healthy eating can taste pretty good.
We have a culture of convenience, and so most people are relying on convenience foods, and we need to reverse that because we know that food has a huge impact on people's health, and we're starting to have more awareness about it, and we know that certain foods can help kids have calmer behavior and focus better and have consistent energy, and the same is for adults too.
After lunch, the students also have a chance to weigh in on the menu with a taste test survey. That's all the time we have. See you later.